Hey everyone, where is Paul's next big adventure? It's Bangkok and the Orient Express all the way down to Singapore. So Leanne and I and our friends Cindy and Gordon, who we travel with a lot, spent 3 days in Bangkok looking around at all the amazing sights and temples, and everywhere I looked I saw cool stuff, and when I see workers working, that really gets my attention. Here this guy's doing a repair. Just crazy, right? And over in the corner, check this out. There's nothing quite like seeing the local craftsman, and then Watt gave us a briefing on where this Buddha came from up north in Chiang Mai area and was brought down in a river all the way down to this location hundreds of years ago.
History to the capital.
And now, look
So
at
it
this.
was in the ruins.
Wow.
1790s.
Wow. And then Watts explains all the activities of the Buddhist
Need
monks.
to call monks to do blessing for them, for their own new houses, new schools, new business. So for example, if they are opening coffee shop opposite Starbucks, they need to do fighting a lot against Starbucks. They need the monks to do blessing for them. They call, hello, is that temple? I need 20 monks tomorrow. I have to fight against Starbucks opposite to my coffee shop. I need a blessing. This is not for fun. Believe me. Yeah, 400,000 monks.
And how many cops?
About 250,000 police.
And what do the cops have to do with the monks?
But sometimes the people have to call the police to arrest the heretic monks. Monks, the good monks know what they have to do, what they cannot do. If they do something wrong, they are to be arrested and to be forced to unfrock.
What did you just say? On what?
Unfrock.
What do they get arrested for?
Alcoholic beverage, gambling.
Prostitution?
Yes, a lot of things.
People are people, hey?
Right.
Continue to tour around this one temple area, tons of Buddhas all the way around. Everything was being restored to really a high level. I stepped inside the tent and saw all these people restoring everything, and they loved it that I even wanted to go in there and watch their great craftsmanship. This is the outside of the temple that's being restored, and it's just beautiful. And this is a Portuguese soldier standing outside to guard the temple, because back then they hired the Portuguese as guards. And then I walked inside this other temple, and it was crazy. They actually had simulations of Buddhist monks praying that were statues, and then they had the loudspeakers chanting away. It was just like surreal. Next stop, a local street market, lots of fresh vegetables, fruit, fish, all kinds of things being sold. Just seeing how the local people work and live. Very interesting. Just seeing the highlights of Bangkok. I've been here many times before and I always enjoy it. It's a very interesting culture. And here the Buddhist monks are being fed by the people after they've given them a blessing. A few more highlights of the temple, and then onto a street that had nothing but electronics. Everywhere people repairing electronics and motors. It was kind of crazy. We walked for blocks and everybody had their specialty, whether it be receivers, motors, flat screen TVs, and everything was happening right out on the street in these little workbenches. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. People specializing in their work. But I saw these guys loading all these peppers, man. They love spicy food in Thailand. I stopped by a couple street vendors, then into this massive building where they sold every kind of flower you could ever imagine. Now, I've never been to this flower market before, and I found it fascinating. Obviously, it smelled really good, and what they did with the flowers was they used them for all kinds of ceremonial type things, events. But boy, the Thai people are into flowers and hot peppers. Everywhere you go, flowers and hot peppers. And then from there we went across the river, and the river on Bangkok is just insane. There's so much boat traffic. Stopped and got a Starbucks and found my heavy whipping cream. Took a picture of it for my file so I never forget what kind of cream they offer in Thailand. And then back onto the river, and then we had a fabulous lunch. All this different Thai food, way too much food. The next time we made sure they didn't give us as much. And then over to the Royal Palace, which was unbelievable. We saw them trimming these trees on these bamboo ladders, which was great. I'd been here before as well. Just an absolutely beautiful complex. This is where the king used to live, but now it's basically a tourist attraction. And I think the maximum number of people they've had here in 1 year is 8 million people have visited this place.
This is Thai dance. And then we absorb American influence, culture, and we do dancing.
The local guide in Bangkok was Watt. He was absolutely hysterical and so patient with me. It was crazy. This is the Jade Buddha. And then we got on a tuk-tuk and went down and across the river again. And this time we went over to another temple, which was really very, very beautiful. But at this point, it was so hot and we were so worn out. We just wanted to get back to the hotel and go to the pool. But we had a great day. And we did stop at one other place, the reclining Buddha. This is crazy. I think it's longer than a football field. And the feet of it are all inlaid with mother of pearl. Absolutely beautiful. Got a quick picture of Cindy and Gordon, and there's the feet. But this thing was massive. And then it goes right down the center of a market. Everybody has to fold up everything really, really quickly. It was so much fun watching this. I stuck my camera actually inside the train. It was moving so slow. I've seen this before in other countries, but this one, it was really interesting because how slow and how close you could get to everything. Very, very cool. We had a lot of fun there. It was a great market. Walked down the street, really enjoyed it. Some ice cold smoothies. It was so hot. It was unbelievable. And then I followed the train down the tracks and everything started popping back up. It was just really crazy seeing how quick they are. And a lot of the people, they actually work even while the train is passing by. And then I had durian, my favorite food in the whole world. This is the stinkiest fruit, but for some reason, I just love it. There we are having our coffee and smoothies. And then everybody's back on the tracks and the vendors are all set up. And basically the walkway is the railroad tracks. And then the train comes and guess what? They pack it all back up really quick and the train comes through and they open it all back up. Look at the woman down below there. She keeps working even when the train's going. Now that's an employee that you want. So as we continued our journey, we went up north to Chiang Mai. Now this is only about 2 million people, much smaller area, nestled in the mountains. People go up there because of the natural beauty, but when we got there, we were greeted by torrential rains. It was absolutely unbelievable, but it's okay, it was fun. We had our first temple visit and Jada, our guide, gave us a great briefing of the history of this area, formerly known Lana, which means the city or the place of 1,000 rice fields. Now, Siam we refer to as Thailand, but this is a separate area, and its golden age was between 1300 and 1600, and then after that it was taken over by the Burmese, which established their military headquarters so they could mount offensives against Thailand or Siam. So only one temple visit today and up to our hotel, the Four Seasons, 45 minutes outside of town, up into the mountains, and it was absolutely unbelievable. We checked in, we thought we were seeing things. The grounds were spectacular, the flower arrangements everywhere floating in water, and again, torrential rains, but it didn't matter. It made it feel like a jungle paradise. And our room, wow, over the top. Beautiful from start to finish. Every last detail was spectacular. We walked around the grounds and then we went to check out the incredible kitchen where you can learn to cook Thai food. We went up to this place and I don't think I've ever seen a kitchen like this anywhere in my life. The light fixture alone was breathtaking, but the kitchen would be fantastic for our cooking experience, which would be the next day. And then we went out to the pool area and overlooking all the rice paddies and the farmers working. It was again so beautiful, you couldn't believe it. We fed the fish, they had a bunch of bread, and boy did they have fish. They had fish everywhere and they had big oxen, and we had a great time. Now at 5 o'clock, something very special happens. All the farmers or groundskeepers for this resort go home and they parade through the grounds and then sing a song. It's really quite an experience, and they light the torch in the middle of the water and they wave goodbye. The day is over. What an amazing place this resort was. We took a great group picture at the end of the day, arriving at the Four Seasons, woke up to beautiful blue skies after that torrential thunderstorms that actually made the news, huge flooding in Chiang Mai. But we got on our mountain bikes, we rode into the countryside, saw some beautiful buildings and houses and the rice fields. This area is known for this. We saw the monks being given their daily alms from the people. Very interesting. Then we stopped along the road and took some more pictures, got chased by dogs, stopped by a temple, and then we rode into a rice field where we saw they dress up a lot of mannequins to keep the birds away and keep the animals away from the rice. It was very interesting, very beautiful morning.
Absolutely perfect. Beautiful scenery, crisp, clean air.
And then we went to breakfast, and the grounds here are just spectacular. They're so beautiful. And with the blue skies, it was just over the top. They had the oxen out. We went and took some pictures with them. They're beautiful, big old gentle beasts. Quite interesting. Got another group picture, and then we went to the elephant sanctuary. This is where they rescue elephants, and we went to spend the whole day with them. So we fed them sugar cane, we played with them. They're just a total hoot. And the nice thing about this is you get to get up front and personal with these elephants. You get to touch them, you get to rub their eyes, you get to rub around their ears. They're just really interesting, and they like to crawl when they come out of the rivers. And then we cut sugar cane for them, and we gave them solid whole sugar cane and watched how they break it all up and then just can eat it, no problem. So the first time it was all cut up for them. This time we actually did it another way where we gave them the whole thing, and then I wrestled with them. They were just crazy fun. And then they went into the river, and they have just a ball in there. And then when you call them, they come out. They're like little children. They listen to you. And then we made rice balls. This was the craziest thing. Rice and all these different ingredients you put in it, and they love it. And you have to put it in their mouth. Look how much fun we're having. This is just the craziest experience. And after rice balls, you guessed it, we took a bath with them. We got into the river. We scrubbed them all down. I got to scrub everything. The guy's going, scrub right around their eye, and I'm scrubbing around their eye, and I jump up on top of them. Then I get the tail, and I'm scrubbing the tail. It's like you never get to do this with an animal, and it was so much fun, and they blew water all over me. And then we went back, and at 3:30, we started Thai cooking. What a day. This was insane. We made green curry. We made papaya salad. We made pad Thai. We learned how to cook. We had so much fun. It was crazy, and I ate as I went through it, but then we kept all the food. Everyone kept their food, and they labeled it, and we actually had a beautiful sit-down dinner after about 2 or 3 hours of cooking. So we learned so much, and the team that we worked with was fantastic. And he's always smiling, our chef, and he said, the food is tastier when you're smiling, and I couldn't agree more. My papaya salad, just over the top, doing the garnishing. Just the last things, pouring a glass of wine, and there's our dinner, and there's our team that helped us learn how to cook Thai. Another great day. Our journey continues down to the beautiful island of Phuket. 3 days in the sunshine, out in a boat, having fun, tripping to all the islands. There are islands everywhere down here. We took a day boat trip out there. We found some beautiful places, beaches to snorkel in, scuba dive, and I got red as a lobster laying out in the sun. But we had a great time in this beautiful area. Now, Phuket is the largest island, but is surrounded by lots of other small islands. We also stayed in a beautiful hotel overlooking the water with beautiful breeze every morning as we ate lunch. But then we spent a day at Kata Beach. I had to show Cindy, Gordon, and Leanne this. It was just incredible. They have the wave surfing there, and if you get tired of doing that, you can go out in the water and you can actually do the real thing. They got nice little small breaks everywhere, but it's a beautiful beach, and the whole tempo of this beach changes. When the sun starts to go down, it gets quieter, the surf starts to come up, and then we went out to dinner and had a fabulous meal, chose all this fresh seafood, and we shared it all together, and we had just a great meal for very reasonable. Then we climbed in the tuk-tuk, and I took everyone over to the night market, and they were dancing and singing and having a good time. I followed in my scooter, and we got into the night market, and the shopping was incredible. All kinds of great food and things to buy. Just a lot of fun. Yeah, you think Cindy, Gordon, and Leanne had a good time in those tuk-tuks? I had a great time on my scooter. So after we finished our amazing 4 days in Phuket, we flew back to Bangkok, where the next morning we would catch the Orient Express down to Singapore. But Gordon said, hey, I'm tired of using my old camera that I've had for the last 10 years. I want to get a new iPhone 11. So we dropped off at the local mall, which is absolutely over-the-top world class. And Gordon got into a long queue to get a new iPhone 11. Well, he did that. I wandered all over the mall, took some incredible video, breathtaking views overlooking the water in Bangkok and the river. Just absolutely incredible. Gordon got his iPhone, and then we went back to the hotel, and I coaxed them into taking us up to the helicopter pad. Check this out, because we were thinking about taking the helicopter back to the airport. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? One of the only hotels that has a helicopter pad on top. But after that, Watts picked us up, and we went on a foodie tour, just wandering around old Chinatown in Bangkok, and we got some great food and got some street food, and we also saw some crazy stuff like this guy taking apart transmission cases. And then we went down this back alley, and everybody was cooking food like crazy. We had some wonderful, tasty, yummy food that had been cooked and prepared in the woks by these people. Then we went out on the streets on Chinatown, and we had a great time out there as well. Just tons and tons of people, very reminiscent of what it's like in China. Packed wall to wall with people, and boy, did they like to eat in China, and they like to eat in Chinatown in Bangkok as well. Just an amazing experience. And then we stopped by a local bar, and we heard some great music. They had a band there and a guy who was just really, really enchanting, to say the least. And of course, we always get our group picture. We had another great day in Thailand. Tomorrow, the Orient Express. So on our last day, we wandered around Bangkok. We had a little extra time. We went over to the Orient Mandarin Hotel. Absolutely stunning, beautiful flower arrangement, beautiful decorations everywhere. And then Gordon and I wandered out on the street to see old Bangkok and old Chinatown, old buildings that are back from World War II. And of course, the black spaghetti, the wires everywhere, and all the spices. We walked through some of the markets. We saw all kinds of dried squid and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Another adventure.
Your hair looks better than mine.
Fabric 71, eh?
Then, of course, we had to see the golden Buddha. It's 5 tons of solid gold. What happened was it was called the hidden Buddha, and they actually encased it in plaster, and then they uncovered 5 tons of gold. Then we went over to the Orient Express and we checked in around 5 o'clock, and we got on the train going from Bangkok all the way down to Singapore. It was absolutely a spectacular train, and the whole event was really quite amazing. Check out the inside of our cabin. Gordon, show me your room.
Please, welcome aboard. Our
The Orient.
accommodations.
Wow.
Ready
This
for
is
the next 6 months.
pretty luxurious, man. Wow. I think this works, doesn't it? That's a good video clip. Crazy experience. And then we went over to the piano bar and we met Peter, and Peter played and played and played, and we laughed and sang, and we had the best time in the whole world. Welcome to the Orient Express. This is just an amazing experience. So we are in the observation deck, and Sydney?
Oh my gosh, this is fantastic!
So Peter continued to entertain us all evening. It was just so much fun. We made a great friend with him.
Woo! Nice job,
And
Peter.
then off to dinner, and dinner was, well, I don't know what to say. It was just ridiculously cool. On a train, eating dinner with a French chef was over the top.
If you want my advice, you should start by this one, which is the prawn, which is still crispy. Then you go for the rolls over here, which is the crab. And then you roll all together with the leaf. And you just eat like a cigar. That's it.
So needless to say, we had a fabulous dinner, and then the next morning we arrived at the bridge over the River Kwai, a very famous historical place where a lot of people died building this bridge for the Japanese. And then we got off there and we took some tours around the local community. We went to a noodle making factory, which was very interesting, a family-owned business. We saw how they make noodles out of rice, and they convert it over to a milk, and then they steam it, and they make it into a big roll. It takes like 3 or 4 days to make these noodles, and they sell them for like 25 cents, and they were absolutely delicious.
Yeah, good.
And over to a local market where we did a walkthrough, all the fresh flowers, fruits, vegetables, meats, lots of interesting things. And then we got on a ferry boat that was pulled by a little tug up the River Kwai. And we took a Thai cooking class. Gordon and I watched as the girls cooked. And of course we ate after the girls cooked, and we had a great time. So that's just our first day on the Orient Express. You know, it's always amazing how the crew works in these super tight quarters, because the train is not that big, and the kitchen is about the leanest thing I've ever seen, just super small. And then in the evening I got a foot massage and fell asleep. Somebody caught a couple videos of me, and then over to the piano bar, and we sang and danced through the night with Peter, who is absolutely one crazy guy. We continued down the tracks the next day. Beautiful scenery as we went down into Malaysia. Beautiful mountains everywhere, and we just had a great time. Then the next day, again, we went on a walking tour, this time a hike into the mountains and into the jungle, but we had to put on our leech wear first to keep the leeches off of us as we hiked into the jungle. It was very, very beautiful. We had a great guide.
You guys made it.
Weather wasn't too bad, super hot, a little overcast, but it was all great. We got out to a lookout place. We had some bananas and some water. Then we hiked back down, and then we went to see how they harvest the rubber or the latex from the latex trees. So this is like 25% of the world's latex is produced in Malaysia, and they make latex gloves with it and all kinds of rubber products. But it was very, very interesting. Then we went over to where they harvest honey from bees, Malaysian bees, which are very tiny and they don't sting. And the honey was really, really good. And how they got the honey out was interesting. They take this little eyedropper and they suck the honey out and they let us taste it. It was really, really yummy. People were really friendly and really nice, and we had just a great time. And the bees, well, they're the tiniest bees I've ever seen in my life, and some of the sweetest honey I've ever had. Totally different than what we have in North America. Beautiful river flowing through the countryside there. Another day on the Eastern Orient Express.